Hey, this is Pamela Riemenschneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. Greg Johnson, our Director of Media Development, handled a couple of stories this week, and a lot of it was about food safety and the challenges that we're having right now with traceability and outbreaks and finding a new way and a new era of smarter food safety. So how's that working?
Well, clearly there's a new era going on because we have FDA telling us that there's 3 current outbreaks with E. coli going right now, but they can't identify what food it's associated with. And in the past, they wouldn't have said anything by now.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
kind
we
of the
wouldn't have
gist
heard
of
about it
what,
until they knew.
yeah, FDA Commissioner Frank Yanis was tweeting today how the era is going to change and there's this new what is it? It's called CORE.
Coordinated outbreak response
And evaluation.
Yes.
Yes. Washington loves acronyms. So it's a new investigation table where I guess it sounds like things are going to be a little more strict, I guess, or follow a formula a little bit better, which could be a good thing because one of the webinars I watched this week put on by PMA talked about food safety. And one of the interesting things that came out of it from a professor at the University of Arizona, and she was talking about how difficult it is to do these tracebacks because every state seems to have a different set of rules and classifications and the way they go about things. And even though FDA has this system called FoodNet, not all the states sign up for it, and they don't have to. And this is on top of the fact that in 2020, she said most of the people at CDC are working on COVID stuff anyway. They're not doing food safety. So it's like add 2020 to the list. Food safety investigations to the list of things that are getting ruined in 2020.
Well, what I find interesting about this, and if you see Frank Yanis's tweets today, it's talking about they released the new communication tool to let the public know as quickly and as frequently as they can on these outbreaks. And so when we first got the outbreak investigation from, mid-October, we were like, oh no, here it comes. The romaine market's going to get trashed. And that's immediately where I went because the timing is right. The specific type of E. coli is right. It could be another fall E. coli outbreak. And then we got Tanamir Nantel had a recall for just field-packed head lettuce, head romaine, just once. And then this week we got another Fresh Express recall for expired salad kits, but it wasn't the same E. coli. So it seems like things are moving way faster. And it's way after the fact. It's less digging in your fridge to see if you had something from 6 weeks ago than it would have been last year or even the year before. So
yeah, well, not only that, but the lettuce is in a transition. So it's out of the Central California, Salinas area. Now it's down in the desert and it's just ramping up. And we had a Marcon video that we showed on our site this week, seeing how it looked in the field. And it's not up to full volume yet, but the quality is really good. And I mean, the videos, it looks beautiful, and the market is not suffering at all. In fact, it's very robust. Prices today, for according to USDA and romaine, prices are in the high 30s and low 40s, which is pretty expensive. So obviously consumers are not scared, and the media has their hands full covering all of these other things going on in the world that they have no need to dig too deep and frighten us all with tales of scary lettuce.
Well, and I had worried that even just the retailers might be seeing these outbreaks and go, well, maybe we're going to push something else. We'll push spring mix instead of romaine. And I was a little scared that that had come true because I went to Costco over the weekend and there was no romaine, but I think it was just a supply issue like we talked about where they were saying the market's real high, the demand is strong. So it's unlikely that it was related to this, but so far the new era, smarter food safety, maybe this is great timing for them to implement this when so many so many eyeballs are too busy watching other things. So we'll see how
Yeah,
this
and
goes.
at this time, the last 2 years, we were getting horrible news, like the pre-Thanksgiving run-up with lettuce and romaine. So
Speaking of Thanksgiving outbreaks, one of the most fascinating stats that you got out of that town hall was how the stereotypes of demographics line up so well with outbreaks. When we talk about outbreaks related to game and meat, it's all men, and dairy is all children, and leafy greens is typically women. But the one that really stood out to me was flour, when there was the outbreak that's due to
oh yeah,
grains, and
yeah.
it's all women, and it's all the women eating the cookie dough. And we're getting ready to start making Christmas cookies in the kitchen, and we're really not supposed to eat that cookie dough, but we do.
There's something that just kind of grabs you right here, knowing that food stereotypes are so often true. I I love that. Sorry, I'm a sucker for that sort of thing.
71% of women, yeah, I mean, 71% of the people who were sickened by the flour outbreak from a couple of years ago were women. And that totally makes sense to me, because we're the ones that are always baking and eating the dough.
And the 29% of men who get sick from that are all the Adams of the world, with Eve with her cookie dough tempting us.
All right. Well, if you're making pumpkin pie this weekend for Thanksgiving, stay safe and stay away from that cookie dough. And that's it for the Produce Reporter Week in Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up. Cookie dough. Give me cookie dough or give me death, or both.
You might get both. You probably won't. You'll just get an upset stomach.
Probably.